Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon, and we're looking at all 10 gift planes given out recently in patch 0.5.3. We're doing this whirlwind style, which means there is no rhyme or reason or order to any of this. First up is the Tier 4 US fighter, the 81A1. The pros and cons of the plane: it has pretty good speed, very nice energy retention in turns, a solid gun range due to the 12.7 millimeters. The downsides are the damage and the turning radius. They're a little bit low. Right here we're showing off that sweet climb that's made possible by that solid speed. The guns, while they look impressive, having 12.7 millimeters for Tier 4, are not very impressive. You notice that in the dive right there, we get up to a very good dive speed very quickly, and taking a solid turn, we don't bleed off too terribly much. Defensively, that fast speed allows you to escape. Next up, we're looking at the Tier 5 American fighter, the XFU-1. It has a great climb, a wonderful roll rate to get in and out of turns quickly, solid HP, good speed. The damage is roughly adequate. The good roll rate is important to have because it makes you very quick edge to edge. What I mean by that is if you want to change from a left turn to a right turn, this gets the job done very quickly. The guns put in decent enough work. Because of their caliber, they give you enough range, but they're overall low in damage. When in trouble, pitch up and blast into space. This is a strong suit of the plane. Look how fast you can climb. Next up, we're looking at the Tier 2 Russian fighter, the I-5 ShKAS. The lower tier planes don't really differentiate themselves too much, but this plane is characterized by very good turn and a very low speed, but like most of the biplanes are. The low speed of the biplanes means you're going to be playing catch up with a lot of enemies quite a bit, and notice that though it is good listed turn, it's not really enough to overpoweringly turn anything. The plane sports 4 7mm machine guns, which looks impressive, but it's not that much damage. It's roughly adequate.
Enemy damage.
Next up, we're looking at the IL Mod 2. It's a Tier 5 Russian attack aircraft. The pros and cons: it does have a tail gunner over the normal IL-2. The cons are that it's an attack aircraft. Right now, the attack aircraft have kind of a weird place in the metagame. Attack aircraft are going to be incredibly sluggish in their turns, incredibly slow, with absolutely no climb. In air-to-air, they have problems shooting down other planes because their guns are very inaccurate compared to other aircraft. The 223mm on this plane heat up rather quickly, making sniping very difficult to do. Moving right along, we're looking at the Ki-33. This is a Tier 3 Japanese fighter. It has very good climb, which is odd considering Japanese planes generally don't. It has poor energy retention, which means it bleeds speed through corners, and it has very low firepower. Here we're showing off that great climb, which allows you to evade lower energy enemies very easily at this tier. The plane tends to bleed speed through very tight turns, and notice that the plane in front of me is a lower tier, even though he is a heavy aircraft. That is pretty poor that I can't kill him in one pass. The M20 is a Tier 5 UK fighter. The pros and cons: it has a decent turn for its tier. It does decent enough damage with about 1 billion machine guns on it. However, it's a low speed fighter that will always be coming from behind, and the climb isn't exactly great either. However, if there's anything that gets within your sphere of influence, those 8 machine guns on your plane are going to make a hurt. Next up, the P-36C is a Tier 4 American fighter. It's characterized by good turn, good climb, good gun heat, which means you can spray and pray forever, decent frontline speed. However, the actual damage that you deal is going to be relatively low. Looking here, we get a solid shot into him and still don't take him out. We're going to pull around for another pass, and the guns just are not enough to do the job. It's a nice platform, however, so you'll be able to line up a lot of shots relatively quickly, so the low firepower isn't exactly a killer.
Enemy damage.
Next up is one of the otter planes that has been released, the Type 224 flying boat. It has very good firepower for its tier. It does not climb very well, and it flies something else weird.
That's one down.
I don't know what it is about the plane, but I have this image of taking a houseboat, slapping wings on it, and catapulting it into the air. It turns slow, it flies slow, it climbs slow, it damages okay. At Tier 3 the performance is acceptable simply because there's just not a lot at Tier 3 that's a real standout.
That's two down.
Next up we have the American Tier 5 fighter, the XF-43. It has a very good roll rate to get you into the turn. It has a surprising amount of HP. The firepower on it is relatively low, the climb is non-existent, and the boost is a pathetic 7 seconds. The firepower is just enough to get the job done and nothing more. The two 12mm offer okay range on it. The boost and climb are terrible. You will always be out of boost. That is just going to be your reality in this plane. However, it takes a beating like no other due to the 225 hit points.
That's one down.
Lastly is simply the crown jewel of the collection, the BF-110C6. It has excellent firepower, excellent climb, excellent speed, huge boost. The downsides are turning, which I don't really like anyway in this game, and gun heat. The 30mm tends to heat up relatively quickly. When it came time to look at this plane, I realized I have absolutely no footage. I need to go play a game. So I jump into a game, notch up 3 kills within 30 seconds of each other. Not a problem with this beautiful, beautiful machine. In my opinion, this plane is not only one of the best premiums, but also probably the best plane at Tier 4 at the moment. It's also located in the German heavy line, which you're going to want to grind anyway. Just pick up this plane, just do it. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting.